Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we're cracking open some really fascinating source material. It's instructional stuff, dated October 18, 2025.
Right. And it's all geared towards one thing,
Yeah.
preparing people to talk about, well, the doctrine of the second coming.
Exactly. And this isn't just about, dusty prophecy charts. It's about preparing for what these sources call the ultimate game changer, the apocalypse.
Which, for most people, that word just screams disaster, end of the world, right?
Totally. But the sources, they immediately clarify something important. The word itself, apocalypsis, Greek, yeah. Yep, Greek means the great revealing or the unveiling. So our mission here really is to cut through maybe the usual fear around this.
And just pull out the key knowledge, the practical steps pretty quickly.
Exactly. What do you actually do with this information?
And right off the bat, the sources set up this tension, this difference from the, Hollywood disaster movie version.
Definitely. They contrast the secular idea, total wipeout, with the religious one. There's this quote from David Marshall.
Oh, yeah, I saw that. It's striking. It really is. He says, "The apocalypse of the ecologist is a catastrophe that would send the entire human race into eternal oblivion." Okay, standard doom.
Right.
The apocalypse of the Bible is an encounter with Jesus. That completely reframes it.
It does. And the tone in the material follows that, right? It actively discourages fear or guilt trip.
Absolutely. No scaring people into belief. The focus is consistently on hope. It's about remaining faithful to Jesus.
Living in the presence of Jesus,
Yeah.
as they put it.
Yeah, if you're already doing that, the idea is his arrival isn't something to dread.
Okay, so let's pin down that hope. Theologically, what is this blessed hope they're preparing people for?
It's presented as, well, the ultimate payoff for believers. Fundamental belief number 25, actually. They call it the grand climax of the gospel.
The climax.
Yeah.
Meaning the final resolution.
Precisely. The definitive end to suffering, uncertainty, all of it. The blessed hope is that final positive resolution.
And the sources insist this isn't just like a feeling or a metaphor?
No, not at all. They're very specific. It will be literal. It'll be personal. Christ himself showing up.
Visible.
Visible, yeah. Seen by everyone and worldwide. A global event that, changes everything. Ends history as we know it.
Wow, okay. And the immediate result. What happens in that moment for people? Prepared versus unprepared.
It's described as the ultimate instantaneous separation. When Christ returns, the righteous dead are resurrected, and they, along with the righteous who are still living, are glorified, basically transformed, and taken to heaven.
And the others, the unrighteous.
Those alive at that moment,
Yeah.
they die. It's the final sorting out. The waiting is over.
This is where it gets really interesting for me, though. This tension between knowing it's coming and when it's coming.
Ah, yes, the timing issue.
The sources say almost complete fulfillment of most lines of prophecy. That sounds like now. Imminent.
It does create that sense of urgency, doesn't it? But then, almost in the same breath.
They stress the time has not been revealed.
Exactly. That's the paradox believers live with. How do you stay ready when you absolutely cannot know the date?
Is there guidance on that? How to handle that uncertainty?
There is. The material points straight to Matthew 24, verses 42 to 44. It's presented as the key mandate.
Which says,
"Therefore, keep watch, because you do not know on what day your Lord will come." Keep watch. That's the instruction.
okay, so 100% readiness, 0% prediction. Got it. So let's look at the signs that demand this watching. The material connects current events, stuff we see in the news, directly to this.
Oh, definitely. They list contemporary indicators suggesting it's near. It reads like, well, a rundown of global anxieties.
Like what specifically?
Ecology is a big one. Climate change, pollution, general environmental collapse.
Okay, that's certainly current.
Then the economy, they mentioned plummeting stock markets, financial crises, just this pervasive global uncertainty.
Makes sense.
Add to that a shaky political climate, and of course, wars and rumors of wars. These aren't just random events in this view. They're signs.
But it's not just today's headlines, right? The sources also look back, connecting historical events to specific prophecies.
Absolutely. They anchor it in history. Specifically, they link events to Matthew 24.29 about the sun, moon, and stars acting weirdly.
Right. This makes it feel less abstract, more grounded.
For sure. They point to the Great Dark Day, May 19, 1780.
1780, what happened?
Apparently, unusual darkness fell over parts of New England. The sources quote accounts, like people in Conway, Massachusetts needing candles at noon.
Wow.
And sea captains describing it as the blackest cloud they'd ever seen, lasting for hours.
And the moon. Did that do something strange, too?
That same night, yeah. The description uses that the moon looked like someone had thrown a giant cloth over it. It just wouldn't give off light.
So sun dark, moon dark.
Yeah.
Fulfilling the prophecy literally.
That's the interpretation presented.
Yeah.
And then comes the stars.
The falling stars, November 13th, 1833.
Yes. The Great Leonid Meteor Shower. Described as maybe the most spectacular display ever recorded. They cite a quote about how people reacted.
How did they react?
With admiration and delight by one class of spectators, or with so much astonishment and fear by another class.
Ah, that mirrors the whole second coming idea itself, doesn't it? Joy for some, terror for others.
Precisely. The revealing nature of the event.
Okay, so if these major historical signs are done, and we see the contemporary signs intensifying, the big question arises, the one the sources themselves ask. Why the delay? Why hasn't it happened yet?
That's a central point of reflection in the material. It connects the theology directly back to human behavior, which is fascinating.
How so?
They list several reasons attributed to Ellen G. White, who's a really important prophetic voice in this tradition.
And these reasons suggest, well, it sounds like they suggest we're part of the reason for the delay.
That's definitely the implication. It shifts the focus. The reasons given are things like, 1, sin needs to fully run its course, so people choose God out of love, not just fear of judgment.
Okay, that makes a certain theological sense.
2, a failure, perhaps, by believers to properly proclaim certain key religious messages to the whole world.
Like getting the word out hasn't been fully accomplished.
Something like that. And 3 relates directly to human failings, things like selfishness and not carrying out specific reforms. They mention Sabbath reform.
Sabbath reform?
Yeah.
Just briefly, what does that mean in this context?
It generally refers to the view that the seventh-day Sabbath, Saturday, hasn't been fully recognized or restored as the proper day of worship by Christians worldwide. The idea is that certain divine standards need to be met by the community of faith.
So the delay isn't just God waiting. It might be linked to the church's or individuals' lack of readiness or obedience.
That seems to be the message. But also, underlying it all is this idea that the delay itself is an act of grace. More time for people to get ready so fewer are lost eternally.
That puts a huge weight of responsibility on believers right now, doesn't it? To look at their own lives.
It absolutely does. It turns the focus inward, from predicting timelines to examining character.
Which leads us perfectly into the practical part. What does being ready actually look like? There's this distinction made between watching and waiting.
Yes. And they use that great story, the analogy about Bear the German Shepherd. It really clarifies things.
Tell us the story.
Okay, so a family goes away for a long weekend. While they're gone, a burglar tries to break in, messes up, falls through a second-story window, and lands inside.
Okay.
Big oops. He's terrified, scrambles onto the top of a tall cabinet, and just freezes there. For 3 days.
3 days. Just waiting.
Just waiting, passively hoping someone finds him or the dog gets distracted or something. That's waiting.
Got it. And Bear, the dog.
Bear knows his master, Dave, is coming home eventually. Bear doesn't just wait around. He watches. He stands guard under that cabinet for 3 whole days.
Without food or water.
Apparently starving and dehydrated, but totally focused, actively guarding because he loves his master and is anticipating his return. That's watching.
Active, alert, motivated by devotion, not passive endurance.
Exactly. That's the required attitude. Active watching, driven by love for the master.
Okay, that's a powerful image. So translating that active watching into daily life, especially when the sources paint this picture of global chaos, crises, wars, pollution, what do you do?
Well, the response isn't to hide or panic. It's about radical community and ethical action. This is where they bring in 1 Peter chapter 4.
As a kind of now what guide?
Pretty much. Because the end is near, they say, here are your immediate action points. And they're very relational.
Okay, let's break those down. Practical takeaways. First up.
Pray. Start there. But then immediately show deep love for each other.
Why love specifically as preparation for the end times?
Because, as the text notes, love covers over a multitude of sins or makes up for many faults. In a community bracing for judgment, compassion, forgiveness, that's vital.
An antidote to that selfishness mentioned as a reason for delay.
Precisely. It demonstrates your preparation through how you treat others.
Okay, what's next?
Cheerfully share your home and resources with those in need. Hospitality.
Huh. In a time of economic crisis and uncertainty, you'd think people would cling tighter to what they have.
It's deliberately countercultural. If you truly believe this world's resources are temporary and something bigger is coming.
Then hoarding doesn't make sense.
Right. Generosity demonstrates where your real security lies in that hope, not your stuff.
Makes sense. And the last points.
Help others and use your special abilities, your spiritual gifts, your talents to glorify God.
So get involved. Don't just sit back.
It's a call to mobilize. Active watching means using your time, your energy, your money, your skills now. If you can teach, serve, administer, whatever, do it for the community.
And they connect this back to seeing Jesus.
Yeah, the idea seems to be that these practical acts of love and service are how Christ is actually seen in the world today. It answers that request from John 12, "Sir, we would see Jesus." You see him in his followers' actions.
So the whole point of this instructional material, it seems, isn't about scaring people or getting them to calculate dates.
Not at all. It shifts the focus entirely to character, ethics, action. Preparedness is about how you live now. Consistent, active, loving engagement.
Right. The key takeaway seems clear. The second coming is this blessed hope. The sign suggests it could be near, but your job isn't to guess the date.
Your job is to focus on the quality, the selflessness of your life today. That's the preparation.
Okay, so let's wrap up with that final thought, building on this idea of the delay. If the second coming is delayed, and the sources suggest reasons like human failure, our selfishness, maybe not getting the message out, what kind of profound responsibility does that put on you, the listener, right now? If the end is near, how does that change your willingness, starting today, to pour out your time, energy, means, resources, talents, spiritual gifts?
It really turns it from just theology into a very personal, immediate challenge, doesn't it? The question stops being if the end will come and becomes. Are your actions today contributing to readiness, or are they part of the delay? Are you accelerating the preparation through love and service?
A powerful question to leave people with. That really frames the purpose of digging into these sources. Thanks for walking us through this.
Glad to do it. It's potent stuff.
Indeed. All right, thank you for joining us on the Deep Dive. See you next time.